Disfruta este espléndido espectáculo con el Ballet Folclórico Nacional Outlands.
And he said, everyone who is found will be thrust through. Everyone who is captured will fall by the sword. And if that does not speak to you, my friends, then perhaps it should.
Magno Torteo de Navidad, este 23 de diciembre.
So I says to him, you think that's a sombrero? Have a look in my truck. Oh dear, now, that's enough silliness for the time being. Now, I'm afraid to say, looks like old Cody Mike here's gonna have to cut his show a little short today, I'm afraid. Duty calls, outside duties, but don't you worry, my assistant here will be looking after the little pups and making sure they's got enough food and cuddles, and I've got a real nice mixtape lined up for y'all, the very best southern country and rock you could ask for. But while I still got you here, just a quick word of warning to the wise. Sometimes the right thing to do when you've made a mistake is to just hold up your hands and say,
God, shut the fuck up, prick. Okay. All right. Come on. Russo.
hello?
Russo, it's Carlos.
Okay.
Listen, there's a hunt on. Today.
You sure nobody's listening?
Yes, I'm sure. Listen, there's no time. We gotta use it as our chance. However it plays out, we gotta leave. Tonight.
I gave them the keys. Them fellas they're chasing. I shouldn't have done.
Who fucking cares? It's distraction, that's all that matters.
They took Steve and Nate. Took them. Not those science types. The dust billies. Took them for the windmill. It's all my fault. Osteen's punishing me for helping them.
Shit. Russo, look, I'm sorry. But fuck me. All that means is we gotta act now.
I shouldn't have done it.
Listen to me, man. We got no time. You ain't the only one in this shit. Robert,
Where is he?
He's in the fucking freezer. I snapped, all right? That fucking piece of shit. I'd like to see him chat shit to me now. They can eat their fucking own.
Jesus.
Look, it had to happen anyway. We knew that. We've just committed now. That's all. We stick to the plan, right? Russ?
They've got Randall. They won't let him go. Can't leave my son.
We won't. And we won't ask. You know where he'll be. We wait for magic hour. We take him, we grab the truck, and we get the fuck out of Dodge. When the bridge is down, so we head out west, on the wastelands. Cross back once we're far enough.
Okay.
Listen, it's now or never, Russ.
I know.
So you in?
Yeah.
Right, good. Wait for my signal.
Got it.
Fuck. Okay. Let's get the fuck out of here.
The Apocalypse Players present Highway of Blood, a Call of Cthulhu scenario by Alex Guillotte, Ian Christiansen, and Davae Breon Jaxson. With Dan Wheeler as Quincy J. Lafitte, Dominic Allen as Edward Ed Mooney, Joseph Chance as Beverley Jack Carstairs, and Danann McAleer as the Keeper of Arcane Law. This is based on a true story. Part 10. Hereditary.
So, I guess it's a sort of decision as to, do you reckon you can fight your way out? Or do you surrender? Or do you try and run and hope that they keep playing with you? Yeah.
I think I see Lafitte pick up. Maybe he doesn't pick it up, but maybe I see what he's looking at, and he's looking at this.
Probably a bit too hot to pick up, but there might be a reach towards it. Or something, yeah.
This beanbag, and he sort of looks at it, and I look at it, and there's panic in my eyes, and because I've already had this realization, and I'm thinking like a sportsman, and I go, say maybe we should parlay. Must be something we could get for you boys. Must be something maybe you could do for us. What do you say we talk this over? What do we say Reverend Osteen might be interested in talking this over again? I look insane when I say this. I think the two of you realize that I am right on the edge of sanity as I'm saying it.
Yeah. Sure, you all probably look slightly insane, but you're maybe on the verge.
And I say in this voice that suddenly sounds...
Ed's just inside out.
My voice suddenly sounds very, very different. And I go, hello.
Yeah.
Well then, what do you say? Why don't we parlay, friends?
Carrington Carstairs.
And I look like I'm about 90 when I say it.
And you hear, as you see two others in the background run around the corner, one of these, the closer ones, turns to the other one and says, well, you giving up your shooter then? If you want to talk? You want to give us that?
And I say to Mooney, I whisper to Mooney, I say, tell me when I got a bead between his eyes. Right between his eyes, Mooney. Tell me when and I'll pull the trigger.
Up a bit, or left a bit, up a bit, up a bit, up a bit. Down a bit, that's it, that's it, you got him.
And I squeeze. So I guess it's down to...
Keeper of the Texas Highway.
Imperious legal leader, a glorious leader, to tell us how on earth we roll for this combined shot.
One of you does the 10s, the other one does the 100s, with a penalty die.
Just not a bad idea.
That's quite close range, though, isn't it? So I'm going
to argue against. I'm going to argue for a bonus die to cancel out that penalty die because we're so close.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that's.
I would say the same because you're point blank.
Yes.
So although it's two of you operating a gun, you also gave it at least a round aiming.
Yeah, exactly.
While Jack was conversing, so I think it balances out. So let's kick off with that, shall we?
Whew. So a penalty and a bonus die cancelling each other out.
So it's a straight. Yeah.
And I guess the question is, who rolls and against whose skill?
Oh, I see. Well, who's holding it again?
Well, I'm holding it.
You're holding it and he's aiming.
He's aiming.
My instinct would be, what's the most important part of using a gun? Is it the aiming or the pulling the trigger? My instinct is that aiming is more important, but... therefore, that's where you get the penalty, which is now...
I'd fall back on a mechanic. Get them to roll luck.
Oh, as in, like, to see which one of them it is.
Opposed luck roll. See which one of them takes the pressure.
Oh, yeah, no, that is better, actually.
I don't know, I mean... You're cool.
Let's do an opposed luck roll to see which one of you's skill we're using, to see if this is a successful shot.
Oh, this could be horrible, because one of us is going to roll a really high, low score, and then that's not going to be the shot.
Yeah.
Or maybe...
Or I suppose if you win the luck roll, then you... Well, basically, we want it to be Ed Mooney, don't we?
Probably. Or maybe...
if you're lucky, Quincy, maybe it's Ed.
What about... I don't know whether this is... I don't know the maths of this, but what if we both get a bonus die, but we both have to succeed? We both roll and we both have to succeed.
Oh.
Something like that.
I love that we're starting at this...
Minigame. It's a minigame.
How does assistance normally work? It's normally one person rolls, but if someone's assisting, you get a bonus die. But this isn't the sort of help.
Well, but we were trying to work out which was assisting and which was... Because basically it is that, but it's like... which.
It's more like interfering.
Quincy is assisting the more skilled
would be helpful.
marksman, surely. Ed is the skilled marksman.
Ed's got the higher
So Quincy is...
shotgun.
That's true. He's telling me what to do. He's telling me where to put my hands, and he's telling me where to pull the triggers.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it is.
So we'll say penalty cancelled out by point blank
By bonus.
and aiming.
Yeah. So it's Mooney rolling, right?
It's Mooney for the corner.
Or maybe it should be me rolling against Mooney's stat.
Do
you know what?
I'm up for
you
that.
guys decide, because I'm happy with any of those. Either way, you're fucked. No, I'm joking.
We could do an average, like a kind of blood pressure monitor, like average successes over a number of different tests.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Kicks up.
I might have been doing too much work.
I was happy with that. I was happy with either of those. I'm happy with either Ed rolling or... Fuck it, let's be interesting. You roll Ed's skill.
Okay, and then the question is who's allowed to spend their luck when we fail?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll come to that when we come to that.
What is your shotgun skill?
55.
Come on.
Great, okay.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay, that's good. That is good.
All to play.
70s. It's all about... The 1970s is all about shotguns, isn't it?
Well, that's fine. I've rolled a 63, so I can definitely spend the luck if but one thing we should check, which shotgun have we got?
Yeah,
I assume we've got the one...
This is the last round. Pretty sure you fired another shot.
So we've got the double-barreled one, but with the one round left, which is the good round, because we've been firing salt.
The rock salt was a couple of shots that got fired off.
Yeah, I think you're now onto my...
But that's gone now.
You're onto my improvised bullet.
Repurposed cartridges, yeah.
So do you have the other shotgun?
Yeah. Which is down to...
The one that,
you managed to keep both weapons with you.
I've got... I think I've got
Going ahead.
3 left in the chamber, as it were. One in the chamber and 2 in the magazine.
yes, because did I jump out the car holding both of them?
Yeah, but you
Rolling.
did throw one to me then.
And I throw one to you. Okay, right. Anyway, so 63. So how much luck am I or we going to spend? Do we want to make it hard? That's a lot of luck. Or just...
Depends what you want to do.
I think just...
he might not be able to dodge
I think
cover
just-
anyway. Like him.
Yeah, I reckon
So
I'll
that's-
get a success.
So that's 8 points of luck.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Why don't we spend 4 each?
Oh. Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
fuck it. As long as you're keeping track of this, that's fine. I'll trust you.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Great.
Cool.
We're
So have you
one
done-
unit.
Yeah, done that.
So you get him. Okay. Well, let's see.
Ba-bam.
Yeah, you do. You
get
do
him.
get him.
Right in the dick.
So as you've leveled this, you just squeeze it off. Okay, and it clips his left shoulder,
Ew.
which is where he was sort of holding the gun up, and he sort of spins round in the dust. You finally get a look at this guy in that sort of moment. He's sort of like half his sort of dungarees hanging off. You know, looks like he's barely got one tooth in his head. You realise his head looks quite swollen as well. And there's only strings of sort of hair hanging down. You just get that in a snapshot as he sort of whirls around.
And he used to be so good on the banjo. 9 in total for me.
10 in total for me. So that's 19 points of damage.
19.
So, so in actual fact, you get the same snapshot of him whirling round, the sort of left-hand strap of his dungarees flagellating his back and his weird swollen head, and he goes, "Ah, Jesus Christ!" And as he falls, you see like it's actually gone up under the armpit and sort of like blown away a huge section of the side of him there.
Yes.
Ooh. And you can see like ribs sticking out and like a spurt from under the armpit.
Good.
And he sort of collapses to the floor, and like he does actually elbow his way back a couple of things, but then just freezes in this slightly upright position, staring at you, like just with these wide eyes.
I look in horror at the other two and I say, "Holy cow, Quincy! Holy cow!" and then I slide back down behind the rock and I start scrabbling around in my shirt. And I take out a penknife that's around my neck and I shove it into my white, now probably quite grimed Y-fronts, classic 1970s, and I just shove it right underneath my balls. And I say, "What the hell are we going to do?"
And I blink like a mole and say, "Did I get him? Did I get him?"
And I say, "That's a kill. That's a kill."
I'll take a peek to see how many there are coming out of the pickup.
Well, what I'd like to do as you peek out, and I'll let you do a look, but could you all give me a listen and a luck?
Oh, yeah.
A listen and a luck. Combined?
Yeah, definitely
Listen and a
two
luck.
separate things.
Two separate rolls.
and a
two
luck.
separate-
So listen first and then first.
For my part, I have succeeded a hard success in my listen and a terrible fail in my luck.
Yeah, you want both results at the same time?
Yeah.
Failed on my listen, and I've got, that's an extreme success on my luck. 0-5.
Okay.
Fail on my listen. And, a hard success on my luck.
Well, perhaps luckily no, I guess unluckily. Well, we'll see what. Basically, Quincy, for instance, all of you here to start with, and this is probably why the two of you don't hear the other thing. You hear the truck around the corner start beeping in that same sort of mad way that the doctors had outside the tent. Some sort of signalling. And Quincy, you hear above that as you sort of try and tune that out and probably try and get the image of that guy's underarm out of your head as well, that sort of gaping maw that you created in the side of his torso. There's been enough violence on this trip so far that I'm not going to ask you for a sanity roll for that. I think that's fair. But you do hear above you just sort of like a slight crumbling sound, like rocks sort of just skittering, like someone jumping down scree or something like that, like sort of,
Or like the moments just
skittering
before the
rock.
tremors come.
Well, quite. Yeah. And you get the sense of like something moving on the rock outcropping above you. But yeah.
Shit.
And that's where you are. And as Jack, as you look out, you don't hear anything, but you, as you look out, you see like one head poke around the corner. Again, you're almost tempted to say insectoid-like, because this head actually does have a helmet on, and for a minute it reminds you of a sort of beetle's sort of carapace, and then it sort of like sideways shifts again back behind the rock. So, but that's while the beeping is going on. So you know there's at least a couple of people behind the
guy who was approaching, was he armed? Visibly armed?
Yeah, he had
one
a
of these
blunderbuss thing. Yeah. That you were shooting. I think you saw him shoot one of the sandbags before he was done.
Yeah, I don't think I realised it was a sandbag, unfortunately. Or maybe I did, but maybe...
I think that was the others. I think maybe Quincy
too busy.
picked it and it was like hot and it was, yeah.
What are we going to do? You
I hear something. Someone moving up there on that rocks. I can't see a goddamn thing. Someone look up there.
I spin round and look with the gun.
I can't turn my neck. I can't feel my neck.
Oh, God.
You don't see anything. Not as a result of your luck. Just, you don't. The sound's gone. But you do then start to hear from like round the corners. And you're reminded of the whistling noises that they were making to each other in the cars before the race started, when they were sort of lined up facing you. That sort of weird communication that happened after the doctor had beeped his horn. They all started whistling to each other, and you can hear that starting. Less of them.
Am I right in thinking there's one guy left? There's one guy left from the vehicle that's in front of us.
Well, what I'll say is, round the corner where any other vehicles are, you've come round the corner now yourself, so you can't see those anymore, but you know there was at least one. There was one more behind Seth's truck, which was keeping pace. Yeah. And you know there was another which was badly burned by the fire, someone hanging out the side of it, which was a little while behind.
Okay.
But obviously you're static now, so who knows if they've also caught up.
Sure.
There's one guy who's just poked his head round with his helmet on, but while that was happening you could hear the horn going, so you assume there's at least one more guy round the corner, if that makes sense. Yeah. They'd come out following the pickup truck. They tried to hook onto it. They tried to save it, and then they got. Yeah.
But the vehicle is out of shot. So we can't see that, but we definitely know there was.
Vehicle's out of shot, and you know there's at least two guys around that corner. Yeah. But there's that beeping and whistling starting, which is slightly unnerving. Slightly. But there's no immediate threat in this moment that you can tell. So I'll give you a second to see if you want to come up with a plan.
How many yards is it?
Foisting another attack.
How many yards is it to the cliff?
So
roughly
to the cliff.
Yeah.
So basically,
road
the
with
canyon
there?
goes round the whole road.
Yeah.
So across the road, it's only like 10 yards. If you wanted to just go off and kill yourself.
Well,
But then we've got the outcrop behind us, right? So
we're climbing up.
So,
climbing up, you can
yeah.
be shot. Climbing down, they might not.
Basically, you've been going along, big outcrop on your left, canyon on your right.
Yeah.
That sharp turn where the other ones went off. You've done a really sharp left turn, like right angle turn. Well, you've jumped out there, sorry. So the vehicles went off. You're round the corner now.
Yeah.
And you can hear 2 other guys and an engine that haven't come round that corner yet, who are behind in the chase.
Great. So the outcrop is sort of to our
Where you
right.
are, it's sort of boulderous.
All around it.
If you're facing backwards to where you've come from, then it's to your right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But you're sort of in the boulders, tucked in underneath it, sort of thing. Yeah.
Is that climbable?
Not right here, but if you want to look around, you could say if you went like another 10, 20 yards along,
Further down the road.
it seems to get shallower. You might be able to climb up.
I ain't sure whether
Although
Mooney.
Ed probably wouldn't.
I ain't sure whether Mooney's gonna be climbing any rocks anytime soon. Can you walk, Ed?
My climbing days are done. I don't think I can walk even.
I'm thinking you say that because you can see where my eyes are flicking.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I say, God damn it. But then what about the poly idea? You didn't like that?
Well...
Try and talk our way out of this. What the fuck are they firing at us?
I don't know. It looks like a. Well, I don't know. I can't see shit, but I thought it was like a little bag of, like a bean bag or like a sandbag.
Is it still here? Can you see it?
I don't know. I pat my hand around. I told you I can't see shit.
Don't touch it.
I've got a terrible feeling that if they're keeping us alive for something worse.
Exactly.
Damn straight.
I've been to the bayou once. There were these creepy kids with banjos. I'm glad I killed all of them, too.
And now the pappies are here to take vengeance.
If there was
I
any,
can pretend I didn't hear that.
if there was any colour left in my face, it definitely drains as I look at Ed Mooney in absolutely perplexed horror, and I say, "Can you see it? Can you see the
It was self-defense.
projectile?
They was taking their dungarees off.
Is it there, Quincy?"
I look around. I think I'm not completely blind. I just have...
Oh yeah, of course.
Listen,
Shit, he can't see.
But I sort of reach around and see if I assume it's still right there.
Can I see it, Danann? It's essentially
like
what I'm
the
asking.
little sandbag.
Yeah.
The little beanbag.
Can I see the beanbag?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, when you see him reach out, you see where it sort of lies on the floor, where it's ricocheted off this boulder that you're hiding behind.
I take the gun. I take the gun's butt and I drag it towards me and I look at it. What is this thing? What is it? Just a beanbag?
Sort of like black, plasticky sort of fabric, and it feels like it's just got pebbles or beans in it. Like it's weird. It's not like something you don't know what it would be for.
But handmade,
other than
maybe.
yeah, stitched together, machine stitched probably, but yeah, stitched.
What is it? What's inside it?
I don't know, feels like pebbles. Shit, son of a bitch. And I shove my hand back down my pants, back down my briefs.
Hey, we ain't got time for that. Everyone's got their needs.
And I take my penknife out and I open it up with but I'm not going to let go of the gun. I'm going to open it up with my teeth, and I say, "Sorry, Grandpa," and I stick the knife into the surface and I try and
Yeah.
We all got needs. My jerking days are done. I can't feel my wrists.
listening to these old timers talking about how they can't feel their wrists and their necks.
Yeah.
And I think I say it out loud without even really thinking about it.
And
Sometimes it's quite nice when you can't feel. It's like someone else is doing it.
But I still got an erection. As soon as I hit the tarmac. What's that about?
As you sort of split it open, all these sort of ceramic pebbles spill out. These sort of white ceramic pebbles, like just cast sort of pottery sort of thing.
They're just stones.
Them's are like the things you use in bacon.
Son of a bitch.
Bacon beans.
What are these people up to?
No, when you use a fancy oven in a...
That's right, bacon beans to stop the base of your flan from rising before you put the filling in. They're called bacon beans.
I close it.
As the sound of them spilling onto the rocks and all your voices saying bacon beans, you hear another rustling. And Dan, could you do me a dodge roll?
Oh Christ!
Instinctive.
Relating to your failed.
Yeah, no, that's not worked out well for
Here's
me.
the whoosh.
So, as you're distracted by this sort of auditory cavalcade of bacon beans, all these sort of pebbles spilling out of the rocks. You look up and you see a dark shape coming towards you very fast. And could you roll me a d4, please?
Oh, God. Yes. I can.
Is that all of us? Just Dan?
Just Dan.
Just Dan, because he failed his last turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Just Quincy, sorry.
Lafitte.
I think I might die.
Well, that's if it's designed to...
Well, I mean, I'm definitely unconscious. I rolled a 4 and I'm on 3 hit points.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Right. So, what the others of you see...
I'm dying.
Have you got a major wound?
Well, no, because I haven't lost
No.
half of my hit points.
Any in that much.
I haven't lost half of my total hit points at any one point.
You can only be dying if you've got a major wound, so you just...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
But what the others of you see, Dan, you just see... Sorry, Quincy, you just see this shadow. The others of you see a sort of shard of the sort of reddish rock just collide with his head and sort of flatten him to the ground next to you. And this sort of welt open up on the side and blood start pouring down the side of his face.
I try and shake him with what mobility I have. Quincy, talk to me. You're my legs now.
I'll try and see who threw it, or what threw it,
Possibly
or
my wrist.
how it came down.
So you look up and you don't see anything up there. But could you do me a listen roll, the two of you that are still conscious?
Remarkable.
Hey.
Oh, no shit.
That's a hard success.
Fuck, it's still a fail.
No joy for Jack.
Yeah, I can't spell
Ed,
that.
as maybe senses are heightening because you're so fucked. But you hear, you're still listening out to this like twitchers at dawn. You're like, is that a reed warbler? It's not. And,
If only there was some sort of tedious vicar to tell us what kind of bird that is.
Only a descendant of Peregrine McCutcheon. But you realise
your biologist has just lost his consciousness, unfortunately.
Yeah. The sounds are now coming from the other side of you as well, further down the road. And, I think you're intelligent enough to realise that they must have cut across ground and be surrounding you.
We got them all around us, Jack.
Listen, we got to try and make a deal. Got to try and make a deal. There's two less than there were, but I don't think this is a numbers game we can win. We got to...
My dealing days are done.
All right, let me...
You'll have to do the talking, Jack.
Listen, son of a gun, you're still awake. You're going to be all right. You've taken a hit, that's
Gotta
all.
save yourself, Jack. Quincy could be dead here, and I'm not long for it.
I dash over to Quincy, and I say, "Here, take the gun." Which is I say it to Ed.
I was going to say.
And I dash over to Quincy, who I'm assuming is right next to him, essentially.
Put it in his mouth. Yeah, he's right next to the two of you.
You've still got 2 hit
was only
points,
a luck
right,
roll,
Quincy?
so-
I mean, Ed, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a major wound.
Major
You've got 2 now.
A major wound.
Several, I imagine.
Yeah. You can see his neck. There's a lump on the side of his neck that's not right.
Oh, God.
When I take the gun from you, all my fingers are facing the wrong way round.
He grips it backwards.
He's not that bad. He'd be unconscious if it was that bad.
Well,
Pretty bad.
He's still got 2 hit points, guys. He's still got 2 hit points.
and you do. I'm just letting you know, atmospherically, it's still your go. But you start to hear engines in the distance. More engines. You can still hear these whistles all around you.
I was only on 1 hit point. It's only because Quincy rubbed some E45 into me that I've got 2.
Sudafed, yeah. So,
That's why you got an erection.
I know you of old, Danann McAleer. It doesn't mean anything mechanically. It means the fucking paper that it's written on. It's worth the paper that it's fucking written on. I'm going to try a first aid on
do me.
your man there. Quincy J. Lafitte.
Yeah, you take a look at Ed and you think, well, I'm not touching that with a barge pole. Probably get sued.
Okay, I think that is worth the luck. I'm going to spend 3 points of luck to pass my first aid rather than fail.
Oh,
Great.
thank you. I appreciate
So he
it.
gets one back. Excellent.
As I regain consciousness, I start mumbling. The peppered moth is a fine example of an evolution in action during the Industrial Revolution. Gained dark patches to be invisible camouflage
Right, it's
against
all right.
smoke.
It's okay.
Jack, you gotta undo whatever you just did. Do the back opposite of what you just did.
It's It's okay. I put my hand over his mouth and I suffocate him. Kill him. No, I don't. No, of all the people to try that joke maneuver, I don't. I think about it and I say, don't speak. Tongue, not a word. Tongue, not a word.
Come, trusty sword.
Come, trusty sword. Come, blade my breast and brew. And farewell, friends. Give me the goddamn shotgun.
That's Quincy ends.
We all end.
Adieu.
Adieu.
The rest is reed warblers.
My fucking head. Something hit me. What hit me?
Piece of rock.
It's best you don't know, Quincy.
We're gonna have to.
I put my hand.
We're gonna have to hand ourselves in.
I feel crumbling.
We gotta wait for the moment. If you got anything you gotta hide it now.
All of the whistles now, they were going in different melodies, and they now all just seem to be ascending up to a certain point over and over again.
I think they're boiling a kettle.
I'm going to say that we want to talk to him. We want to talk to the Reverend.
Yeah, smart.
You do see two figures come round the corner with guns raised.
I take the empty shotgun and I pick it up high and I throw it. And I say, I'm coming out. Don't shoot.
Cool.
I pick up the other shotgun and I say, you gotta be my eyes. No, I don't.
Feel free. Round 3.
Do you attempt to move out from your sort of semi-cover behind the bowl?
Oh, yeah. I start walking forward.
Jack, you do, but do the others sort of say where they are, or...?
I think I stay where I am. I think I'm pretty broken. So I stay there sort of nursing my presumably quite profusely bleeding.
There's a lump growing on the side of your head, and the blood sort of run down the side of your mouth. You realise you were quite thirsty, actually, so it's not helping.
God.
And Jack, as you step out and sort of say that, they start advancing more slowly, but you also hear behind you and you realise there's some more people behind you again, who obviously have scrabbled over the ridge. So you're basically being approached slowly from both sides. But you've thrown the shotgun down and raised your hands?
I've raised my hands and I'm walking forward slowly, in my most sort of sub-Robert Redford, in his wildest dreams. But, there is something about him, from certain angles, he looks a bit like that. Especially because he's got the long kind of tan blonde sideburns. And he's got the physique, but he's just like, his face doesn't quite fit. It's not...
Yeah.
He should be attractive, but he's just not quite. He is. He's good looking, but he's just not quite right. But I say, I'm here on behalf of the Environmental Protection Agency, and I want to speak to Reverend Osteen.
He wants to speak to Osteen. He wants to speak to the Reverend. Well, Reverend want to speak to you anyhow.
I sense that I have some higher purpose here in this here place, and my friends do too.
Yeah.
Sorry if I don't understand the finer points of it. And I take a gamble and I say, religion?
Religion. He said religion. Yeah, our religion, yeah. You gonna keep running then?
Well, I've got it in me to run. If you want to give me a car, I'll run. If you want to chase me, but these other two men, they should be let go free.
Oh, these two behind the rock.
They're in no fit state to run now.
Who?
Maybe Mr. Osteen, Reverend Osteen, will see to parley with me. There was a bit of a confusion earlier about that. Maybe I say,
yeah.
I feel giddy. I feel weak and like I'm going to drop in that moment because it's just.
You don't look too well, mister.
I'm fine. I could do with some water. That's all.
Yeah, we caught you. You should come back with us now. That's by rights. That's what you should do.
All right.
We'll bring you to the doctor. Your friend there behind the rock, he looks like he needs a doctor. He looks like he burned himself half double jumping out of that truck. Don't you? And he sort of looks at you, Ed, and goes, don't you? Answer me, boy.
My jumping days are done. Will you call me boy?
Jumping days are done. I called you boy.
Unfortunately, your friend is beyond the aid of a doctor.
Huh?
And I gesture with my head to the corpse.
And actually, it's almost as if he hadn't seen it before, and he gives it a proper look, and he goes, "Oh, my. Oh, now, Owen, not Owen. Why'd you all go and do that, huh?"
Oh, he did it himself, I'm afraid. Terrible accident.
Oh, he did that himself. Did he? What, he tripped and blew his head off? Is that what he did?
Something like that, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
You got a voice too, have you?
Just about. Similar voice to you, it sounds like.
Friends with us. What's that?
Similar voice to you, it sounds like.
Your friend here seems to be trying to make nice. You two don't seem to want to make nice. So how's about we take your friend back to the doctor and we leaves you here to die in the desert? Does that sound fun?
I think you're underestimating divine intervention here, friend.
Underestimating the resourcefulness of a couple of qualified scientists.
Oh, you hear that? John, qualified scientists, you hear that? There's qualified scientists here. Well, if you've got any qualifications like Doc Brenner's got qualifications, you'll know that you won't last a moment out here, not with the Rattlers, not with them little fellas. The Tehihan, you won't last a moment.
The Tehihan?
I'm not interested in your biker gangs.
Did you say the Tehihan?
That definitely makes me want to do some sort of roll.
I say it loudly, almost...
I said what I said. They're still about here. You not seen them scurrying? Once they've their eyes on you, you don't get far. Now we can protect you.
Can I do an occult roll on his...
Yeah,
or would it be an anthropology roll? I mean, both those skills are terrible, but like...
I would take occult would be better.
Great, I will roll it. My occult is just the base, it's just 5, but...
If I fail a Cthulhu Mythos roll, will I likely lose sanity?
Aren't you more likely to lose sanity if you succeed?
Well, you've already lost sanity for seeing these things, so I think you'd be more likely if you succeeded. Yeah.
I'm rolling my occult. I mean, how helpful is it going to be? Because I could spend the luck to pass that.
I mean, how intelligent does this guy seem? I mean, he knows what he said.
Well, Tehihan, if I've got that right, is a thing.
It's, yeah, I mean... It's like it's whether that knowledge of that might help me at all. I'm nearly fucking dead. I'm gonna spend 9 points of luck.
Oh, 9 is that's doable. If it was like 29, don't.
To pass my occult roll.
So you definitely have heard of them before from different names, but that name does. It links into you. Maybe it was like a fucking footnote or something that you were reading in a folklore of, and you remember that there's certain Native American tribes, sort of First Nations people who they have these legends of this smaller humanoid race that were like a sort of a vicious, almost animalistic warrior race that was sort of Spartan in their culture, as much as you could call it a culture, and they were sort of maybe 4 foot tall at most, and they used to wage war against certain tribes, and that's gone on for centuries in terms of the legends, and it tends to be, I mean, there might even be a reference to it in that book that you picked up in Thunderbird Gifts about the Wendigo, because it's sort of on the same track as the Wendigo, as in folklore that has been assumed by settlers to be utter nonsense. But this guy seems very sure and also very casual when he mentions it, and you have seen these bizarre sort of half-humanoid figures on this drive. I think you all saw them at one point or another, didn't you?
2 of us, definitely.
There's a lot going on here.
I'm not sure whether I ever did, but certainly I think I heard that conversation, and if I've heard of these things, I think maybe that adds up for me.
But you certainly remember that about them, and that they had their own rituals and not customs necessarily. They were animalistic. They were feral. They only really sort of vaguely resembled humans in the tales, but like in the same way like a staffy or like a berserker can show intelligence or follow leadership, like these creatures could as well, but they were these sort of half-sized sort of humanoid figures which used to terrorize the First Nations tribes.
And how did he pronounce the word? Tehihans?
Tehihan.
Tehihan.
I mean, I may retcon that when I come
that's
back to
fine.
the spelling of it, but yeah.
So I in that case, I say, recalling this, I say, I know a little bit about the Tehihan.
Oh yeah.
I know they're fighting folk, but I bet they play fair.
Huh.
I fancy my chances out here with them more than I do back in your godforsaken town. So if you're to give me the choice of staying here or going with you, you can fucking leave me here. The other two can do what they want.
Hey, listen to me now. Listen to me, Lovelet. You seen any of these here Tehihan round here? Any?
I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you. You take my friend, leave me here. Do what the fuck you want.
Okay. And he raises his gun and he shoots at you straight in the head.
Fucking hell. Oh,
okay. He misses. Remarkably.
I dive for cover. As soon as the gun comes up, I dive.
But I guess you don't necessarily know that he misses. It could have just been a warning shot.
Yeah.
I've let you know now. But it's another beanbag sort of slaps into the rock to the side of you, and he says, "You don't want to talk to me and my friends. You're staying out here. And fair, they might be fair in the way of savagery and animalry and all that. But if she's got her eye on you, and if you've seen them, they ain't letting go of you now. Not unless you come back with us and we can protect you. Doc Brenner can protect you. Reverend Osteen can protect you. Out here, you're sitting ducks. But I'll leave that to the three of you.
I think...
Is there someone else there we can talk to?
I think we need to talk to the Reverend Osteen. And I say it almost in sort of... With my hands, one hand out to the guy.
Yeah.
Who knows John and Otis, or whatever his name was. The dead man.
Yeah.
And in the other hand, back to my two cantankerous but charming colleagues. And I say, maybe we can cut a deal here.
Useless, unlikable, and verbose.
Extremely useful. And very eloquent and deeply unlikable.
I like
one of you.
this man. Here. What was your name, sir?
My name's Ed Mooney.
Not you.
My name's Beverley. Beverley Carstairs.
Our sister named Beverley. That's funny. I like Beverley. It reminds me of my sister. She was always fair, too. She wanted to make friends, too. You come on over here. I'll show them that we're friendly folks, okay? I just need to pat you down for weapons, all right, Beverley?
All right.
Hands up now.
And I do the hands up and I clench my buttocks hard.
And he turns to the others and he says, now look how fair we can be when we work together. Huh?
My looking days are done.
He pats you down and sort of seems quite... He does properly go at the arse and the groin and everything. He's not holding back, but I don't think he feels anything. You've tucked it right
Prison
up,
tailor.
Right
back
Tiny
behind.
little thing.
Well, it's a penknife. I mean, it's a penknife. It's nothing.
Shift and cut.
Yeah. I'm very happy for
and he
you
says,
to...
Now, boys, come in, we'll pat down these two too, and we'll get them out of here now. And you come back with us, you can talk to the Reverend, you can talk to the Doctor. I don't have any authority here, all right? So you want to survive, you don't want these little fellas to come get you, scratch your eyes out.
What was your name, friend?
Huh? Cecil.
Your name's Cecil.
Why? You got a problem with that?
I got no problem with what anyone's called. I just...
What's you called?
Name's Mooney, Ed Mooney. I'm an old friend of, the chap on my character sheet. I'm an old friend of Jacob Blackwood.
Oh, my lord. Oh. And he sort of stops for a second. He says, boys, we got a friend of Jacob's here. Jacob Blackwood's here. Friend of Jacob Blackwood's, does anyone know her? No one know a Jacob Blackwood? We ain't never heard of a Mr. Jacob Blackwood, but I'm sure you got your friends, mister. I'm sure
he was
mighty
certainly
impressive.
hanging around with you lot earlier. He was speaking to you, Reverend. He was speaking to Doc. What's his chops?
Oh, was he? He not come here with you?
No, sir.
Blackwood? Oh. And he starts laughing to himself and he says, no. He must be one of the faces. I knew it. Oh, they've been fucking with you, boy. Okay. He one of the faces. We got a friend of Jacob Blackwood's here. Let's get him in. Pat him down. And and they move over. And if you guys, the two of you by the boulder, they come closer, these others with guns raised, and sort of gesture for you to put your hands up.
I try to put my hands up.
Well, I think they take one look at you and sort of go. And he sort of whistles, maybe to get a stretcher or something, you don't know, but he doesn't try and move you as you are. Quincy, how are you reacting? Are you going to trust
I stand
them?
up.
Trust the
and
obviously.
I face him, like nose to nose. I hold my hands out like this as he pats me down.
Yeah.
And then I fucking nut him right on the bridge of the nose.
Amazing.
Now you know
roll my brawl.
Barmia Potts felt about that kid the whole time. Just any opportunity to smack him.
Oh.
I'm going to spend 2 points of luck to make that a hard success on my brawl.
Okay. Well, I got a hard success as well, but
attack and resolves.
You still, yeah.
Unless he was dodging.
It's with the attack.
Do you want to?
Are you dodging or fighting back?
No, he was going to fight back, but you took him by surprise. You've got the hit. Do you want to roll damage?
Yeah, my damage is not great. My damage is really bad because I've got my
You've just headbutted someone with a damaged head.
Yeah.
Like hitting someone with a water balloon filled with bread.
I'm so weak that my damage bonus is -1.
Wow, I love it.
So
D3 -1.
I might do no damage whatsoever. It might make it better.
It's on the floor.
I like
Big roll.
That's a 6, so that's a 3 -1, 2 damage.
Wow. Okay, so he staggers back
I like to think I might have broken his nose.
his nose splits, and this is the guy you've been talking to. This is Cecil. He sort of staggers back, and you instantly see blood sort of welling up, and you go, Jesus Christ. Hey, listen, a friend of Jacob's here. He ain't too friendly now. He ain't too friendly. And two of the other guys come at you from the side with their guns raised, pretty much point blank. And Cecil sort of goes, now, we don't want to kill you. Don't you get it?
Oh, I get it.
Killing.
I get it.
Oh, you get it, do you?
Yeah, you don't want to kill me, so I keep taking 2 points of damage off you every opportunity I can get, because you don't want to kill me.
Now, why? Can you not be more like your friend Beverley here? My sister Beverley here, she's come out, she's chucked a gun off the bridge, off the side of the fucking canyon. She's held her hands up in the air and said, no, miss, please don't help me. Now, that's all gone. Now, Beverley, you don't mind me talking about you like this. And he sort of brings you over, like, by the shoulder. Says, why can't you just be more like Beverley? And he immediately just puts you in a headlock. And could you give me a fighting brawl roll, please?
Me or Beverley?
This is Jack, yeah.
Oh, Jack.
Fighting brawl roll. I'm not going to fight back. If he's going to put me in a headlock, I'm just going to let him put me in a headlock.
Okay, cool. In which case...
Unless do I feel that he's trying to choke me out? Is he going to try and choke me out?
You start to see, like, stars.
Right, okay, in which case I will fight back, saying, I want to talk to the Reverend Osteen.
All right, let him go.
My brawl is 33, and I've rolled a 09. So
Bloody hell.
That's
Okay.
hard, not an experience.
So you managed to...
It's a hard success.
Is there a certain thing you're going to try while he's sort of got you in this headlock? Are you going to, like, try and put your hand up?
I think...
Or are you going to, like, what do you want to...
I think I want to break out of it.
Yeah.
I want to break out of it, and I push him back if I can. So I'll do a kind of classic lineman, break the tackle. I put my arm up, and I just kind of whip it out and push back at the same time, like a proper American footballer move. It's almost like I'm skipping back from the line of scrimmage as I do it. And I say, for fuck's sake, everybody just stop fucking hitting everybody and acting like fucking children. Let's go and talk to the Reverend Osteen.
Jesus Christ.
I gotta tell you now.
He got a hit on him.
Cecil, whatever happens from this point forward, if the three of us go missing, I don't like to think what might happen to Abattoir, but it's not gonna be pretty. You picked the wrong car, you picked the wrong people. You understand?
Okay.
And Osteen might understand.
I get you. I was just tomfoolery. I was just horseplay. I was just trying to show him how a nice brother and sisters act. You know, for your friend.
Is that the kind of horseplay you did on your sister?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still alive?
Now, don't you be judging me. And he goes and he picks up his friend, who's now got no head, and just picks him up and holds him in front of you. Like, hoists him up and does a little dance like that. And you just have this stump sort of flickering. And he says, You better than us? You better than us, are you?
I walk towards the car.
See what you've done?
Towards the car.
Better shots, at least.
I start walking towards the car.
I say under my breath.
Well, the pickup.
So you're heading around the corner. Great. So
I'll be in the pickup.
There's two in front of you. There's three more on the other side.
I also start walking to the pickup.
Those were the ones I'd already described as being
right.
the guns up around Quincy.
Well, I just try and push past them.
But you're just walking. Yeah.
If they block.
I also start walking to the pickup, but on the way, I trip and fall to my knees. And I would like to try and get a rock, the sharpest, nastiest looking rock I can find, and get that up my sleeve or into my jacket pocket as I get to my feet. And I'm happy to roll sleight of hand for that to see if that's.
Yeah, go for a sleight of hand. I'm not sure. I won't need a hard or anything because I think they're probably good by everything else.
I mean, I'm going to end this scenario with no luck, but I'm spending 7 points of luck to pull that off.
Great.
He's been burning through now.
Well, yeah. So you managed to. Would you slip it up a sleeve or like into your pocket or?
Yeah, I think maybe just sort of up my sleeve. I mean, I think we're all like really badly cut up and bruised, so I think I'm moving along like holding myself as if I'm hurt anyway, which I probably am. So yeah, I've sort of got it into my sleeve, thinking he's already patted me down, and now I've got this. Yeah, so I've got this up my sleeve.
Meanwhile, I'm reaching out to two of the guys to help me walk to the car, the pickup. Like I'm clearly too feeble to move.
Cool.
To give me their arms to help me walk.
They're not helping you. In fact, they just sort of start to follow the other two.
And I say, hey, I'm calling shotgun. I get travel sick.
Call whatever you want, Mr. Mooney.
I stop and I say, one moment. And I walk back to Mooney and I shoulder him with my strength 75.
Okay.
And when you do, I whisper in your ear, I say, I don't care what they say about not wanting to kill us. If they ain't wanting to kill us, then they're wanting to fuck us. And let me tell you, I'm not going down without a fight.
We'll find our moment.
Yeah, all right. We gotta stick together here. These thugs, these are just the hands and fingers and toes and feet. We need to cut off the head and fill up the neck cavity with cement so nothing grows back. I'm kind of thinking it might be a good idea if we go missing nothing more I want to see than that whole town get napalm to fuck.
That's how I feel.
Wipe it off the fucking map.
I think I make a bit more of a deal of it as I realise that he wants to kind of talk and breathe, and I sort of and I go, okay, and I'm trying to get his sort of arm up over my shoulder, but I'm trying to do it without really hurting him. But actually, I've got him, and I could lift him. And I just whisper in your ear and I say, did you see Pale Blue Eyes while we were driving away?
Was that a movie? Oh,
No.
You see Vanilla Sky, Tom Cruise, Cameron Diaz?
I can't remember. Blue Velvet.
I don't go to the movies, I say.
I think I did. I don't remember where.
He talked about them. He talked about her.
Yeah, there's some weird, freaky shit going on around here. And what does he mean they were playing a trick on me with Jacob Blackwood, doing faces? What kind of face? Some sort of glamour. They cast a glamour on us like fairy folk. You ever heard about fairy folk? Hey, Jack, do me a favor. I can't bend my neck. Can you look at my crotch if I wet myself?
I gotta be honest, I don't think I can tell for the sweat and the dust.
I think some of it's blood, you know.
Sure looks that way, but don't worry, maybe that doc can patch you up a bit.
I doubt it. I don't think he's even a real doctor. But we'll see.
So I think we might be surprised. Anyway, we gotta stop Lafitte before he tries to get all the way back to Vietnam.
As Lafitte is closing on the car, and you're sort of hoisting up Mooney as delicately as you can, I do need you all to give me a Constitution roll, because you've been out of your car and in the heat for quite a while.
I lost my hat ages ago. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's a close one.
A hard success.
Not a hard, but a 47 on a 55.
So you realise how...
44
and Ed?
Narrow success, 44 and a 50.
So you realise how fucking thirsty you are, and how, like, you know, if the blows to the head hadn't been on the verge of knocking you out, you need some refreshments anyway. But you also realise, like, as Lafitte, as you get towards the car that's just around the corner, you sort of turn in the corner to get the car in vision. You see two of them sort of coming around with what looks like a makeshift stretcher, and then you hear, like, from behind a whistle, like a downwards whistle, and they both put it down on the floor and just sort of idle next to it. And you realise that none of them are following you to the car. They're all sort of staying where they are and just looking at the three of you sort of struggling like injured grasshoppers.
I'll get him over to the stretcher and put him on it. I mean, assuming that that's going to be... Oh, wait, so... Hang on, are they... I look at...
I refuse. As soon as you go to do that, I go, no. Just, we're close enough. I can walk just about. I've just got a fasciitis, my heel.
Plantar fasciitis. That's nasty.
That's the one. Plantar fasciitis.
That's nasty.
And none of them, they're all like sort of just moving, like the couple that are there by the car, Lafitte, as you get there, they sort of just back away from you a bit, look very sort of laconic. Laconic's the wrong word. No, what do they look? Another L word. Louche. No.
Lazy.
They're not cultured enough to be louche. Lazy bums. No, but they back away from you and sort of rejoin with Cecil and the others behind you and sort of just watch as you reach the car and Jack and Ed struggle towards it as well.
So is this the pickup?
So Seth's pickup went over the...
Yeah,
bar.
sorry, I meant like...
It's a smaller pickup, yeah.
So what's the arrangement of seats in this vehicle?
So it's like 3 in the front at a push, like 2 in the passengers, and like 3 or 4 along the back, and then...
Okay, so it's got 2 rows of seats before the...
Yeah.
Do they look like they're not going to join us then? Is that what we're picking up on?
Well, they're not moving towards the vehicle with you. They're just sort of like drifting back into a clump and watching you.
I think I'll say...
Take the driver's seat, Jack.
So you're going to give me the keys? Are they in the mirror?
It doesn't say anything.
Maybe you left them in.
Yeah.
Mooney. I'll head over with Mooney to the driver's side door and looking at Lafitte the whole time, just going...
I think it's fair to say Lafitte probably gets there slightly earlier unless he stops.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Because you're... But I don't know if Lafitte, if you do...
Yeah, I get that, but I was kind of expecting... I think I say, you ain't going to give us a lift? We're going to drive ourselves?
Looks like.
Oh, so you can chase us again, is that right? That was fun, was it? You want another round?
Is there another vehicle?
There's just this truck at the moment, but you can hear
there were engines and beepings
in the distance.
Yeah.
How many of them are stood around?
So there was 2 this side, there's 3 more, including Cecil. So there's 5 in total who are now like sort of just stood watching you by this car.
Well, I make one a motorbike off the cliff. Your friend Seth there, I believe his name was. Another one of your friends got pulled down the cliff there. Took your driver out there. One with the head. Shot your friend there in the shoulders. Someone else. I believe we took out 6 of you, and 3 of us are still standing just about. So if you want another round, I'll take another round. What about you 2?
I just got a question for you, Cecil.
Oh, please, Mr. Mooney, ask me anything.
Oh, thank you. Well, in that case, I got 2 questions. The first is the question my colleague, Mr. Carstairs, asked just now that you perhaps didn't hear because you didn't respond, which is, are the keys in the mirror, or are you going to give them to us? And my second question is, what exactly... something that's been playing on my mind. When we was driving out here, we were driving at some pace, as you remember. I couldn't help but notice that there was something hanging on a structure on my way out of town. A couple of people, by the looks of it, who bore strong resemblance to the fellas we knew from the garage there. What happened there? They had a bad day, I guess.
I guess they had a bad day. I guess sacrifices must be made.
Oh, I
No?
see. Well, I can see what you mean by that. Quite the sacrifice for your town to give up
Yeah.
the one group of people who can fix up your cars.
Oh, you think they're the only folks who can fix up our cars? Russo weren't burned up there. Nate and Steve, they makes themselves too friendly with passers-by.
Oh.
They was on thin ice anyway.
Well, we gave Russo our car. He didn't fix that up, so I'm not sure you killed the right ones. But then...
we got Russo's son, so we got leverage.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you for being candid. And the keys?
Oh, they're here. And he pulls them out of his pocket and just spins them around his finger and puts them back in his pocket.
Oh, right. Okay. What's my mechanic?
I walk up to him.
Well, wait. Where we going? We don't need keys. We don't need keys. Let's get in the truck.
No?
I think we'll be fine. Carstairs, would
You
you
want to get in the truck?
would you help me into the truck, please?
Oh, would you help him into the truck, please, Beverley? Beverley, be a good girl now. Help him into the truck, would you?
You want to drive?
No, you drive, darling. It's your 18th birthday. You drive.
I just need to sit on something upholstered.
Was that a yes, Dom? Just because... Did he say yes?
No, not necessarily. I'm thinking of getting in and trying to
spark it,
Yeah.
Oh,
Although, actually, I've realised my mechanical repair is good, but my electrical repair is actually very bad, so maybe that's not a good idea.
Crumbs, electrical repair. Oh, I don't think I've got anything in electrical repair.
No.
Shit, is that what we'd need?
I guess it is electrical, isn't it?
I've got 25.
Well, that's better than me. I got 10. I go up to this chap who's spinning his keys around his finger, and I just hold out my hand and I say,
Now what?
"You care to give me those keys?"
As you get towards him, they all raise their guns at your head.
All right. No keys. So it's either walk or... You mind if we start this up our own way?
We prefer you to run. You run, we can have some fun. You want to get in that car and sit there all day in the blistering heat, that's your business. There'll be others here soon. You can hear them, listen. You hear them? You hear the engines?
Here, let me get...
You don't get to go around insulting us because we're backwards town folks. We've had enough of that since the mines closed down.
Oh, you do
We've had your
recognize you're
time.
backwards.
Come
well,
through
that's
here.
something.
Yeah.
You do recognize
I
you're backwards, at least.
I recognize that elitists like you from the city call us deplorables. You call us backwards just because, oh, well.
I noticed you didn't ask my name.
No, I didn't.
My name is Quincy J. Lafitte. If you knew anything about history, you'd know about the Lafittes.
Why?
You know about your part of the country. You may think, oh, look at that little weedy scientist. He's into insects. Look at his insecty fucking face.
Sounds French.
That's right, he's French. Greatest privateer ever sailed around the Gulf of Mexico.
Is that right?
I ain't afraid of any of you fuckers. You stick your guns in my face all you like. People like me keep jumping back up. Like a cockroach.
I turn to Carstairs and say...
Like a fucking cockroach.
I turn to Carstairs and say under my breath, "Seems like my behaviour in the tavern back there rubbed off. I'll love to see it."
I'll just try and open that front driver's door and just slide you in.
As you do, I go, "Wait a minute. He called me a city boy?"
Christ, keep your voice
out
down.
the window and go,
Let me tell you, I've seen things in the dark caverns of this world. I've seen things out there in the Mojave Desert that would make your skin crawl off your bones and disappear up your asshole, you piece of shit. I don't know. What would your mother say if she knew what you did to your sister, huh?
Oh, Martha? She wouldn't say nothing. I did it to her first.
Yeah, I bet she liked that, didn't she? I bet she liked that. I bet you weren't the first, was you?
Oh, okay. Okay, boys. And he just points to the others, and they keep their guns raised at Lafitte, and he just sidesteps around Lafitte and starts coming towards the car, stretching out his shoulders.
"You want to go, son? You want to go?"
I'll try and I'll try and interpose and go. You don't want to do that. Reverend Osteen won't like that. I know who she is. I've seen her pale blue eyes. I know she has something special planned for us.
Who, Reverend Osteen?
I've seen them too, the Tehir Han.
Did Osteen put on a girl's face this time? Did he?
No, he looked like a king of the mountain to me. Long hair. Face like granite, stuck together like it had been broken open, like it was...
I got no time for monarchy. And he swings a punch at you, Beverley.
I dodge.
While I'm saying, Jack, if he wants to go with me, let him go. All I've got is points in fighting, brawl, and luck.
Yeah, that should be you then, shouldn't it? What you got?
An extreme success.
No. So I've rolled a 9 on a 40 dodge, so I just need 5 8s at 40, so I just need 1 luck for an extreme.
Fucking
you're
duck
laughing.
and weave.
I haven't lost any sanity because nothing supernatural's happened to me yet. It's just been a trip to Texas, backwoods Texas.
I mean, in the interests of madness here, Danann, in the interests of madness here, can I make a proposal?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Because I was in two minds about this, because I was going to say I dodge.
I'm just looking something up, but yeah.
What I was actually wanted to do is I wanted to lay my palm on his forehead and cast a spell.
Oh, fuck.
And I could do that with a Cthulhu Mythos pass for 4 luck, because I have 5 Cthulhu Mythos now.
Okay.
And I think what I want to do is I want to summon my grandfather's icy touch of... my great-grandfather's icy touch of death into this man's forehead.
Seems legit.
With a sort of witch mark kill.
Yeah. Great.
Because that's what I was doing. I was sort of saying, I've seen her pale blue eyes, and I think she has something in store for us.
I mean, I got that. I don't think he got full context of what you were saying.
But I think
But yeah.
So can I turn that extreme dodge really naughtily, twisting Chaosium's magic into a Chaosium, Cthulhu Mythos path?
Fuck it, yeah. I mean, convince me, baby.
I think Lovecraft would approve.
Yeah, totally.
You need like a template spell.
Yeah, isn't there a death touch or something?
Well, let's find. We've all got the book, right? Let's find something that matches it. Like, I don't know.
So there's a death spell, but it's reserved for only the most foul of sorcerers. It says, is that the kind of thing you're after?
Avada Kedavra.
I think maybe this is more like Wither.
Harmful spells.
I think this is more like. Do you know what? Because this is his first ever attempt at allowing his great grandfather's evil through him. So I think it would have to be a pretty...
Mind Blast?
Mind Blast sounds good, doesn't it? Because I went for his forehead. Because I do feel
Melt
that he's...
flesh.
Tell you about it?
Necrosis. Sending of the dead. I wonder what that is. Steal life. Stop heart.
If I'd gone for his chest, that would have been... And Mind Blast sounds good, but then that might be...
This is... God, man.
The victim of this spell suffers a terrible mental assault, causing the loss of 5 sanity points and inducing temporary insanity.
Sending of the dead sounds close. It says, causes significant harm or death. The caster must use something personal, blah, blah, blah. Personal item. Basically, ignoring the item stuff. The spell performed, the caster or supplicant must lay the item down. If the target walks over the item, the spirits of the dead enter his or her body, causing distress, anxiety, mental decay, and possibly physical damage.
Wow.
Or the shriveling.
Shriveling, that's the one I'm thinking of, not Wither. Shriveling.
Well, no, one of the alternative names is the Withering Blast of Death.
Well, let's use that.
A powerful offensive smell.
And smell.
That was me earlier. A powerful offensive spell causing physical injury to a target. The caster invests as many magic points as desired, and half that number in sanity points. For the spell to take effect, the caster must succeed in an opposed power roll. If successful, the target is subjected to a sudden and terrifying blast of energy, causing flesh to blacken.
That's the one.
The target loses 1 hit point per magic point invested in.
That's the one.
That's what old did on you in.
Yeah, I did to my arm. I remember it well.
I think that's the one because that is your basic necromancer's first offensive weapon, isn't it? As far as I understand. As many magic points as desired, that number halved in sanity points.
Yeah.
So,
but the more damage you do, the more sanity you're going to lose.
I mean, our keeper hasn't said yes yet.
I think because of your background connections, Jack, I feel like it's a fair thing to go with.
Land of darkness.
So what is it that you do?
I think I dodge very fast and I shove my hand on his forehead and I say, well now, why don't you eat some of the black power of those that fly through the stars? And I shrivel his face.
Oh God!
I'm gonna try.
Are you?
So this is a power roll, right?
Let's see how it goes.
If you melt his orifices, does that mean he'll suffocate?
Potentially. We can always cut them back open. These guys seem to like all that shit anyway.
Whoa.
Body modders.
Jesus. And nose piercings.
Okay, that is a crucial 37 on a 45 power, guys. I'm not a natural magician.
Oh, opposed, right?
Is it? Shit the bed.
Oh. Spend the luck.
He fails.
We're on something.
Got him now.
Now, yeah. But I think it's more for the display of power that I'm going for, really. I'm not really... So I'm tempted to...
I mean, I imagine we're all going to have to do sanity rolls, probably including you.
Well, I just go indefinitely insane. I am indefinitely insane. I have a bout of madness as a result. So my question is... It's a bit meta, but... I mean, my instinct was to hurt him, but I've only got 9 magic points.
Magic points come back really quick, though.
They do, don't they?
Yeah, I think it's like 1 hour or something.
An hour, yeah.
Well, fingers crossed. So I was going to say minimum 4.
We spend hit points.
So I could do 4 damage.
I'll make it 5. Make it 6. Make it 6.
Is he a big guy?
Make it 6.
No, not particularly. He's quite weedy. Well, not weedy. He's quite he's got range.
Yeah.
He's quite
lean.
He's like a welterweight. Yeah.
It puts me down to 30 sanity.
Kirk Sleep started on that.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, sleep started on 20.
Fucking hell.
So I'm going to do 6 points of damage, reducing me to 3 magic points, which I think is good because it's like I don't know what I'm doing and it's just opening up and these words are coming out, and I recognize them as my great grandfather, but obviously it's still me, or is it? And I feel this burning sensation in my hand, and
he goes in with the lunge and he just brushes your chin. And his face comes into you, and your other hand grips him by the forehead.
Yeah, grips him by the forehead.
What happens there?
I think. So I start with this. Well, then I shall cause pain upon you. From the darkest gifts of those who fly between worlds, and then it just converts into this dark, guttural stream of language that obviously neither Mooney nor Lafitte have ever heard me speak before. Maybe the others gathered around her. Yeah. But it is the tongue of she who will not be named, the goat god of 1,000 young. And maybe there's an invocation of sort of trees in people's minds, whipping and waving in the night. And this black shriveling begins to spread across veins across his face and eyes and down his mouth very fast, but this white glow is spreading out of my hand as I sort of force him to his knees.
Yeah, and I think for all of those watching, the others of his men, the Dust Billies, and also you two, your eyes become a very pure blue, I think, in that moment, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Like ice, like chipped ice.
Yeah.
And as this strange language comes out of you and your hand glows and his face sort of blackens, he just starts screaming like a child, just please, no. And the others all take a few steps back and raise their guns towards you. And you just keep hanging onto his face. They look confused and sort of... But you can see there's a degree of panic amongst them, and they're sort of looking to each other and looking to Cecil, and you can see the veins around his eyes especially sort of blackening and his skin sort of crisping up.
Technically, I don't even get to roll my sanity, do I? Because as soon as I've lost it, I've triggered a bout of madness.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to roll a d10 to see what that is?
Please. I think the other two of you should probably roll sanity as well.
Oh dear. You know what a 3 is?
Violence, again.
Oh.
Yeah. A red mist descends.
And the other two of you, how have your sanity rolls gone?
I've failed my sanity quite badly. I've just remembered how bad my sanity is.
I have also failed my sanity.
Seeing this, I mean, I've been quite brutal in the past. Let's go with a D4.
Yeah.
Because this is magic done by someone you know to be a human that has withered this guy's... I mean, it's one of the most extreme things you could see, I'd argue.
That seems fair.
If I'd lost 4, that would have been indefinite insanity for me. I lost a 1.
Oh, yes.
And I'm so ecstatic with this guy's suffering that I don't really think too hard about how it's happening. I'm just enjoying the suffering more than I'm questioning the means.
I lost 2. And I think perhaps that provokes an involuntary action.
Yeah.
And I think probably...
I'll probably shit myself.
That's bringing my rock down on the back of this guy's head.
On Cecil's head. You could stride forward a few steps and like a couple of steps and do it.
I mean, maybe that's a bit considered.
Try
maybe that's a bit considered. Bring a rock down the back of someone's head is a bit considered.
Well, if it's more like a panic.
I'd say you're still like that's a way, so you still have to run forwards and do that. But you might do that. I'd say that's a fair reaction if that's what you feel that is appropriate. I'll say that the engines are getting louder from behind you, but that doesn't affect you right now because you could shot put it. I mean, either way, he's there on his knees.
Is the spider... Is there something about the spider?
With this hand...
Something about the blindness? Is there something about...
Yeah.
He can't
and actually,
see...
the hand mark on his face that's sort of burnt in.
Like throwing a shoe at a spider.
The veins popping around it, the sort of like black veins popping over his head, his shaven head, seem to resemble a spider's legs. You think, is that you? Itsy bitsy? Is that you? Under my head's face?
I know what it is. Because I can't see what's happening to his face, partly because I'm behind him, and partly because I'm fucking blind because my glasses are gone.
Sure.
So I just hear him screaming, and I see the glowing. Because I don't see exactly what's happening with Beverley's eyes, but I see something weird happening, and I said, I just start yelling.
You see what happens when you mess with the descendant of Jean Lafitte, the privateer. You don't know what darkness you mess with. You don't know what power you're confronted with.
And I do this to all of the surrounded people pointing their guns.
And they all look panicked and sort of look between each other, and Cecil's just there kneeling, sort of blubbering like a child, still alive, but clearly just like fucked in the head, just like snot bubbles running down his face. He's just like he's been reduced to a toddler, like a screaming toddler. And the others of them, as you hear these engines roaring behind you and getting closer, as you're doing this massive speech to the crowd, do you see what happens when the god himself does this thing? One of them fires at you, and then they all fire at you and Joseph. And you're welcome to try and duck for cover if you'd like. But there's 5 guys shooting at you in this dramatic moment.
Yeah, how does that work?
With that... Yeah, so because I suppose if they're electing to fire now, is that a new round?
Yeah.
That's a new action round. It's a new.
So I would say you get to,
order,
regardless
get
of sanity, you can. Yeah.
I mean, my dex is extraordinarily good, but I am blind. Mine's 85.
We are the most
glasses,
extra
and your
group we've ever been. I'm 70.
My dex is 80.
But they've all got extra for guns, right? Is it? I mean, like some.
And they're very close.
Some people don't get 85. 85 is pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, but I mean, if I'm surrounded at point blank range with a bunch of people with guns,
if it's
realistically,
might all be beanbags.
It might all be beanbags. I think they probably are all beanbags, and I don't think I'm going to even attempt to dodge. I'm in the midst of an involuntary action. What will be, will be.
Well, I'm pitching here. If this is a new round, has his involuntary action passed, Danann?
What will be, will be.
That's my ask.
Ooh, yeah. I guess in my head, narratively, we were mid-involuntary action, but that's not really fair mechanically. So I'd say you can choose to sort of realise mid-sermon. Maybe you've reached... What do you say? What's the end of your sermon? Do you see what you're saying to them in reaction to Jack's godlike sort of punishment of this leech, this maggot of a hillbilly in front of you? What's the end of your sermon?
This is what happens when you do not pay attention to the history of your culture and your people. The privateer Jean Lafitte ruled this coast. He ruled all the southern states.
Yeah. I mean...
And his power has come to wreak chaos upon all of you. You fear the little men who run the hills. You know nothing of the power beyond your imagination.
And at that point...
And then they all shoot me in the head.
Yeah. So what you feel is, as you finish the sermon, you feel like you've imparted something, some powerful thing, and you see this blubbering wreck on his knees, and you see this person that you thought you knew, Beverley, Jack Carstairs, in front of you, still with his hand outreached, not touching the person anymore, but the remnants of a glow fading through the back of his hand. And maybe he flashes his head, but I don't know, maybe he flashes his head back towards you, and you just see this glint of, like, ice blue eyes, and then this blackness just clocks you across the head and you fall to the floor. Now, Jack, what do you do as you realise there?
There's nothing that I realise. My bout of madness has not been met yet.
Yes.
So in this action, I will be in my first round of my bout of madness, and there's no way that I would try and do anything other than kill this man. I think what you see is the hand pulls back, and the first one hits me, and my left hand reaches out, and my thumb is going to go into this thing's eye. This guy's
Cecil
eye.
Just weeping in front of you as your thumb nears the socket.
Yeah. And the other one just hits me square in the face and knocks me off my feet and knocks me unconscious.
And as you hear these engines roaring and getting closer behind you, Ed Mooney, you're still basically incapacitated. You feel healthier than you were, but you basically can't move. You're still you're in the truck, you're on the passenger seat, the door's still open, and you can hear these things getting closer, and you witness this happening, and then you witness this barrage of these people just letting loose, and you see both your friends go down to the floor. And in the aftermath of it, there's sort of just a lot of heavy breathing and whispering, and Cecil's still there on his knees and a couple of them sort of try and get him to his feet, and they end up he's trying to shake them off, but he's very weak, and they end up lying him on the stretcher just to the side. And then you hear a groaning, and you see a mound sort of pushing up in the dirt, just gradually, and you realise it's Seth, the burnt guy who had buried himself in the mud. And he sort of raises himself out, and the others suddenly look reawakened by his emergence. And he sort of looks around wild-eyed with these mudded eyes, as he looked like when he'd put the dust in him. And he looks down to the two prostrate figures on the floor, and he looks up to you. And he sort of makes his way towards you.
And I flip him the bird.
Yeah, perfect.
You see a couple of them, and you flip him the bird, and you also see a couple of them say, talk to him, very nervously. They're sort of Seth, the doctor. You can't quite hear what they're saying. And he sort of just turns and looks at them, and then looks at Cecil on the stretcher, and then looks back to you. And he walks up to you, and you realise he is this mountain of a man, this bulk gleaming in his forehead. And he just opens the car door and leans down, and he just plants a kiss very gently on your forehead. And it's the closest to sadness you've seen in his eyes. And then his hand just strokes down, closes over your nose and mouth.